I just watched a video, John Oliver, HBO kind of comedian, serious situations type show, and it was about the West Bank. And you know, after watching the video that they put out, you know, like what Israel is doing, or Nehumah and the conservative Republicans. You know, I've watched a lot of movies in my life because I've just ended up around them about the Nazis and the occupation that they did and stuff. And you know, like, I watched this video that John Oliver made on HBO on his show, and really, like, the behavior of the soldier, the Israeli soldiers, is very similar to what I've witnessed in documentaries and in movies that of the behavior of the Nazis. And what they're doing is completely unacceptable, and what they're allowing their citizens to do to the Palestinians and other people who occupy that area is ridiculous. And you know, allowing a 16-year-old soldier to tell a 60-year-old man to take all his clothes off is ridiculous. It's disrespectful. And the thing is the occupation and the way what's going on over there is at this point, after watching what John Oliver made on HBO, I have to say that when Nehumah and the IMF, or whatever they call themselves, raided Temple Mount while they were raided a church service, which they knew was going to stir things up and make things much worse, kind of like what Trump is doing right now with the Christians. Except Trump is making the Christians work for him, and Nehumah made the enemy work for him, and are the conservative Republicans in Israel, and Nehumah as the face. Used it to provoke them and make lead to a war where they could gain more ground with taking over territory, is what I really think happened. And raiding Temple Mount was the stupidest thing I have seen anyone do on the planet. And at this point, after watching that episode of John Oliver, I believe that when Nehumah and his military raided their church service, it was to cause all this to happen so they could destabilize the region even more and take more land. And I just got to say, once again, out of the documentaries that I've watched in my life, of the Nazis, the behavior that I saw in this episode was literally the behavior of the Nazis, and just as bad. And I find it interesting how a group of people who were treated that way by other people are going around and treating their neighbors that way. And the thing is I watched their enemy, Israel's enemy, say, when it comes down to dignity, it's unwavering. And what Israel is doing is really messed up, and it's messing with their dignity, and we all know what that leads to. It's a requirement to exist, and it's something that should be respected. And talk about the maps in Israel, the way it's laid out. Israel has it laid out where basically you could look at the whole West Bank as little prison cells where people are allowed to live together. But to get to another cell, you got to cross Israel military controlled space, and really what that means is it's a prison. The whole West Bank is a prison for the Palestinians, and for a Palestinian child's ball to end up in a space while he's playing that is the Israel space and end up in detention for 6 hours sounds like something Nazis would do. And I find it interesting that a group of people are allowing their leaders to behave like Nazis when they were treated the same way by the Nazis. Grow up.